Today's postgame is coming live from my parents' glorious basement here, and unfortunately, Bruiser couldn't make the trip. He's listed as day-to-day with a lower body injury. Where do I begin on last night's game? It was ugly. The Habs looked absolutely terrible in the first 40 minutes, and as a result, went into the third period down 3-0, and I'm going to tell you why. The past few games, with all the injuries mounting up on the Habs, they've actually looked pretty decent. Last night, it looked like they'd really caught up to them. And a funny start to the game, the Habs actually managed to hang on for most of the first period and not fall down behind a goal, but then it seemed like the karma police showed up. Surely you remember the Washington disallowed goal, which was questionable, at least, on Wednesday night. Similar thing happened to the Habs last night. Matt scrambled in front of the net, Price has his hand in front of the puck, and Jeff Carter pushes his arm into the goal. Kind of soft. Scott Hartnell was originally credited with the goal and all the confusion, and that was later changed. And a bizarre thing is they didn't even review this play. Scott Gomez was the center, and he tried to delay the faceoff, and it just didn't work. If anyone knows why that goal wasn't reviewed, I would love to know, and please comment below. Jeff Carter made it 2-0 with another goal early in the second period, and I can't really fault Carey Price on that, but I'm sure going to fault him on the third goal by Matt Carle. It was a very weak slap shot from the blue line. Yeah, it was tipped, but at this point of the season, I don't really care if it was tipped. In the type of game that the Habs were playing last night, with the utmost importance of that game, Carey Price has to make that save every time. And while I think Price is a great talent and he shouldn't be traded, he has to make that save. And this season, Jaro Halak has been making those saves. And that really put the Habs behind the eight ball as they had to go to the third period down 3-0, and it looked like the game was for sure lost. And as the Habs have been doing all season long, they surprised us again in the third period. They came racing out of the gate, flying, if you will, pardon the pun. And Glenn Metropolitan makes it 3-1, and a couple minutes later, Dominic Moore pays immediate dividends and makes it 3-2, and it looks like we got a hockey game. Which leads me to my next point. Last night was PK Subban's first game in the NHL, and he looked incredible. But on a side note, he really should start calling himself Purnell, because that name is just badass. In the absence of Andrei Markov, I want to know how many of you were actually reminded of Markov by Subban, the way he would carry the puck through the neutral zone. It was incredible to watch. I mean, he had spinoramas and dangles, and he was really fun to watch. My question to you is, what do you do when the Habs defense finally gets healthy? Do you send PK back to the Bulldogs? I say yes. And the reason I say yes is quite simple. The Habs are not going to do anything in this year's playoffs, barring a miracle. So why waste a year of PK's eligibility on his contract by having him play more than 9 games? I say have him play a few games here and send him back down. Yet another ugly incident involving the Flyers at the end of the game. With 59 seconds left in the game, Daryl Poe absolutely mangled Yaroslav Spacek from behind, face first into the board. I ask you, how many games does that deserve? I say 3 to 5. And a side note, if Spacek can't play tonight, the Habs defense will be without Andrei Markov, Yaroslav Spacek, Marc-Andre Bergeron, and Paul Mara. How do you expect to win missing 4 defensemen? And I have a question about Andrei Markov. If he's really hurt, and I don't question that he is, do you think he should play for Russia? I mean, think about it. Who's paying him millions of dollars, Russia or the Habs? If you're not healthy enough to play for the Habs, why can you go play for Russia in the Olympics? That doesn't make sense to me. With the Leafs not playing, CBC has the Habs as the national game tonight, and at the end of the game last night, they were given some ammo to market tonight's game. There was actually a bit of a line brawl at the end of the game between Scott Gomez and Kimmo Timonen. Kimmo Timonen was assessed 10-minute misconduct on the play, so you got to figure he said something pretty bad, and it was an ugly scene to end last night's game. So I expect an absolute war tonight at the Bell Center, and the Habs, this is crucial. I can't stress how crucial tonight's game is. If they don't at least get a point in tonight's game, they are really behind on what up to this point had been a fabulous February, especially when you consider the likes of losing Mike Camilleri. That's it for me today. Enjoy tonight's game, and I'm going to go see if I can help out Bruiser with his lower body injury. Till next time, enjoy.